What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Goddess Z, and I hope everybody is taking care of themselves, mind, body, and spirit, because that is what it is all about. That is what we do, that mind, body, spirit integration. Without one of those things in balance, we are completely out of balance. Okay. Happy New Year to everybody. This is the first episode of 2024, and I am so excited to be here with you, still going strong, going on year two of the podcast. So you definitely want to make sure that you follow me. I am growing. I am implementing new changes that are complements to this podcast as well. So before I get started, I'm going to go ahead and get some business out of the way because that's what I always do. If you're not following me already, be sure to follow me. You can find me on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon, YouTube, and all those great places, as well as TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. And we are, here comes my cat. We are growing and expanding in so many different levels. There's a blog now. My TikTok, I'm on my juicing journey right now. I'm doing tarot readings and like life is really good. Like I said, we're integrating the mind, body, spirit integration. And I am like, finally coming to the world with all of these different talents and abilities that I was born with and finally stepping into that unapologetically. So, once again, I hope everybody has been taking care of themselves. Like I said, it's been a pretty interesting ride to 2024 for me already. And what I'm actually going to talk about is I'm going to kind of give a recap of my 2023, because 2023 was an amazing year for me. There was a lot of changes and shifts, planetary movements, of course, but for me, it was a lot of groundbreaking. Healing of shadow work and kind of positioning myself to be able to move forward to implement some manifestations that have been long-term goals. Okay, so I'm finally starting to taste that stuff. And in 2024, I'm in direct alignment with that. So it took years to get there. Just be sure to check out my other podcast episodes because I talk a lot about that and the journey up until this point. So definitely, I wanted to give a recap of my 2023 because 2022 was rough. For me, there was a lot going on, a lot of changes happening, a lot of the grand finale of the shadow work and the things that were blocking me from what it is that I wanted to manifest. I got a lot closer with my ancestors. I got a lot closer with a higher power, a divine source, and it really was a game changer. I couldn't see it at the time, but 2023, I was kind of like clearing away that wreckage and really stepping into my purpose, and really stepping into comfortably who I am and who I came to this earth to be. Okay. So I learned some amazing things in 2023, and this is one of my blogs. So be sure to check that out. I'll have that link available for you guys to be able to access me in all these different places, as well as the store is growing too. So that's really excited. But I had a whole lot of transformation and a lot of growth, and I learned a lot of things, but I just kind of recapped it in this blog and made it into a bite-sized 10 different things. So I wanted to talk about that. And I'm definitely open to hear what you guys went through in 2023. What was that like for you? Was it transformational? Was it healing? Was it growth? Was it manifestation? I would love to hear about that. So be sure to put that in the comment section. So the first thing that I learned, or at least that I put down on here, and you guys, I think we talked about this in a podcast episode. I'm always talking about this, but the number one thing was not needing validation from other people. Oh my God, that's everything. And I said that before, but it just expanded and it became more internalized where I truly felt that way. And I am walking that way. Okay. So I stopped seeking validation from other people and I started seeking the validation from myself. Once again, another breakthrough, another game changer. I stopped worrying about whether or not I was pleasing other people on the outside and worried about whether or not I was being true to myself and walking in alignment with my purpose, my goals, my experience in life. You know what I'm saying? So I realized that everybody's got goals, everybody's got their path, everybody's got their journey, and it's not necessarily the same as everybody else's. I don't think anybody's is. I think everybody has their own unique purpose and reason for being here. So I decided to stop needing validation from other people, and that created major transformation. The second thing was is I stopped asking other people and I asked my own intuition. Okay, that is everything as well. A lot of times we find ourselves going to other people for advice or going to other people for solutions to our problems. And once again, it falls in alignment with that first thing. It's like asking for validation. And people could be giving you information based on the wrong motives. Okay, they could be jealous of you, they could be just not knowing, they could think that they know what's right with you for you, but the bottom line is nobody has walked your walk. So therefore, other people can't really give you too much insight into what you're going through. So if you're at a standstill and you're at a blockage somewhere and you're needing some clarity, your own intuition is where you want to go. Okay. You can do that through your spirit guides, through your ancestors, through prayer, through God, however it is you choose, a different combination of them on different occasions. But the bottom line is what that's going to do is that's going to start to strengthen your own oracle, your own intuition, and your own sixth sense to be able to get the answers that you need to be able to make the right correct steps for your journey and your path. Okay. So it took some time, but like I said, the two of those kind of go hand in hand, not needing validation from other people and stop asking other people and ask my intuition. And so now that's the first thing I go to. I go to my intuition before I go to my ancestors. If it's just too much clouded judgment, then I will pull in my spiritual counsel on the subject matter. Okay. So the third thing I learned is I stopped listening to other people and I started listening to Great Spirit. And you'll notice a theme between these 10 things. They all are all connected in one way or another. They all kind of interweave and go back to one another. So it's clearly a theme of, me needing to depend more on my inner realm. Okay. So stop listening to other people and listen to Great Spirit, listen to divine source. And so, like I said, my ancestors, my spirit guides, God. And as I started doing this, I started doing more prayer and meditation about halfway through the year of 2023. And that was a game changer for me because I realized that I had a lot of experience with my ancestors and my spirit guides, but I wasn't creating that quiet time that was necessary for prayer, intentional prayer and really connecting with the source, the great source of all there is. And I was actually leaving out a major component and a major tool, like the most powerful tool in my case, to be able to get all access and infinite wisdom of the universe. Okay. So it's like, duh, I don't know what took me so long for that. So instead of running to other people to get information or not trusting my own intuition, now I'm able to be still, do some prayer, do some meditation, and allow the answers and information to come to me. Okay. And I started incorporating tarot in as well. So that was another tool to be able to get more insight and guidance, and not just necessarily when stuff is going wrong, but just kind of, keeping a nice little compass of where I'm going, where I'm at, what's happening, and things seem to make more sense and have more flow in the rhythm of life. Okay. Number 4. This one was stop telling everybody what you're doing and do it. Oh my God. I think I did this my whole entire life because I always had this look at me, look at me. I need to prove to you how great and amazing I am. And this goes back to validation. This goes back into needing approval and stuff like that. Even sometimes when we say we don't, it shows up in other ways. And this is one of the ways that it showed up for me was I got to tell you what I'm doing. I got to tell you all these amazing ideas that I have. And I'm a creative and I'm a right brain person. And so I'm always having ideas, coming forth, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to have this, and I'm a determined individual in spirit, and I never quit, no matter what I'm going through, and no matter what I've experienced. I always keep going, and a lot of times I would tell these people. And then next thing you know, it doesn't manifest. And I'm like, wait a minute, I had this in a bag. I had like, one last thing to do before this was supposed to be what it was. And a lot of times that was because I was announcing my future victories before they had happened. And people was hating on it. People's out here thwarting certain types of energy. And we talked about this before, whether or not people believe in hoodoo and believe in hexes and rituals and things like that. All those things are repetitious behaviors and doing things with intent behind it. So people can actually practice this stuff without even knowing that they practicing it. Okay. So I learned to just stop telling everybody and start to really focus on that internal world, like I was just talking about, and allow things to happen and allow things to manifest. And guess what? You're going to see what I'm doing. I don't have to tell you about it. So that was a major game changer for me. And it brought me so much peace too. Like I said, 1 through 4 is all kind of in alignment with each other. And so the fifth thing that I learned was, is my dreams and goals are too big for small minds. Okay. Like I said, I consider myself as one of the 97 percenters, not one of the 3 percenters. And what does that mean? Excuse me, a 3 percenter, not 97 percenter. And what does that mean? The majority of people are doing the same thing. The majority of people are moving in the same direction. And then there's a small percentage of people that are striving for more, that have goals, that have these certain practices and these habits and discipline to make them continue to be better and greater. And that's how I've always been. I don't know if it's because I'm an Aries. I don't know if it's because of, the spirit that I am returning. It's probably a combination of it all. But I've always been somebody to dream big, no matter what I've been through, no matter what type of trauma I've experienced. I always have held fast to the promise that was promised to me, and my spirit come returned. I was like, okay, big things are supposed to be happening in my lifetime, right around this time, like in the second half of my life, after I've gone through and experienced a lot of things, after I've survived a lot of things. And I always, stayed true to that. And so I would say, and have these long-term goals that I talked about in the beginning of this. And people would like try to, minimize that. If I would once again be running around here telling people what it is that I plan on doing. And a lot of times it would be people that were closest to me. You watch out for that. You got these big dreams. I want to start a business. I want to buy a house. I want to move to another state. I'm waiting to marry a individual like this. And then next thing you know, people are trying to get in your head because we allowed them to try to knock you down, knock you down on their level. And a lot of times it has to do with the fact that they don't think and dream big like that. Okay. Sometimes it's not even their fault. They can't, their mind and their consciousness can't even conceive of miraculous manifestations that you're speaking of. So a lot of times you're talking to people that are not truly in your peer group. You should be around like-minded individuals so that when you tell people stuff like that, then they're like, yeah, you can do it. And they're actually giving you tools, advice, and insight as to how to make that happen. They're not jealous, they're not angry, resentful, but they're actually trying to help you. So watch the company that you keep. Not everybody wants the best for you, even those that are closest to you. Okay. There's a lot of frenemies out there. And a lot of times what that can do is that can actually distract us and deter us from the direction that we're going in. And now all of a sudden you got a setback. Once again, guess what? You're not manifesting what it is that your big goals and dreams. So I learned that, like I said, all of these are in alignment. And it's as if there was a certain amount of healing that needed to take place in order for me to be able to start hitting these different things to move them out of the way to get to the place that I am today. So number 6 was, sometimes I can't, but great spirit will. And when I say great spirit, I'm talking about divine source, spirit of the universe, whatever you choose to call it, God. That's what I'm talking about. I call my higher power a variety of different things. And there was a great transcendence with that. Okay. Like I said, once I tapped into the prayers and meditation, it really took me to a different level. I had been meditating. I'm not going to lie, but I was not praying like that. So when I combined the two of them and I realized, hey, some stuff is bigger than me and I'm going to need some assistance with that. Okay. I've got finite power as to what my little human experience can do, but the great source and great spirit of the universe has infinite wisdom, expansive knowledge, and energy that I can tap into and I can pull back and turn some things over to. So, recognizing that really assisted me in my ability to be able to manifest. I had to pull back. I got to know what it is that I can do and do everything that I can do. And know when there's some things that are just too big, but know that it can still happen for me. It just may not be coming solely from me. So that may mean I have to pick up on my practices, pick up on my meditation, pick up on yoga and things like that. We'll talk about that a little bit later. So number seven was it's never too late to heal. Okay. That one was also another beautiful transforming experience. And I'm so grateful that for this one because I always talk about my healing journey. And I've been on this healing journey for a long time because there was a lot of healing that needed to be done. There was a lot of shadow work that needed to be done. And I realized that we can always go deeper in that process, in my adult life, it's been comprised of this and it's like layers of an onion. It's like, okay, I peeled all this back. I think I've done quite a bit of healing and I'll be doggone if 23 didn't say, now that you've gotten that out of the way, we're going to go ahead and start to pluck some of these roots that have been inside of you for so long and have been showing up and manifesting in your life in other ways, not necessarily in a positive manner. So I was able to tap into my inner child. I hear people talk about that all the time. Like I said, I've been on in this game for years now, and people talk about the inner child and healing the inner child and looking at your little self and all of that stuff. And I was able to tap into that, on a deeper level and realize that, the root of where a lot of this stuff had started and a lot of the harm had started. And I was able to finally start to correct and make right some of those things with the assistance of my ancestors, spirit guides, and God. Number eight was I found out that my inner child is a precious and innocent spirit. And that was huge. And that was some tears behind that one. I'm not going to lie, because once I got to that place and I got to the root of a lot of where it all started and where it all began, I realized that that little girl didn't have a choice in a lot of different stuff. That little girl was just going along with the life that she had been born into and had never taken the time throughout this whole rocky experience of life full of winds and turns and twists to be able to acknowledge that little girl and say certain things to her and recognize that she was so precious. I was a lot of things. I was an avid learner and reader. I was always very curious. I questioned a lot of things. I was very smart. I was very creative. And a lot of times those gifts never got nurtured. And so I had an opportunity to be able to really connect with that part of myself. And I didn't realize that I had disconnected from that part of my spirit a long time ago. And so I was able to reintroduce myself to that little girl and give her the love and nurture that she deserved. Okay. So that was huge. And then it's also see myself as a baby, that little girl didn't deserve a lot of stuff that she went through, and I was able to make her okay, and so that was huge for me too. Number nine was rejection is protection. Okay, like I had some stuff going on, and like I said, this list is all kind of intertwining with one another one because this one falls in alignment with number one, two, three, and five. Okay, the need for validation, wanting approval, it had me going out of alignment with stuff, chasing over here, trying to do what they doing, over here trying to be like this, and somebody said you should do this and all of that. Sometimes the doors was closed in my face when I thought I was doing the right thing. I'll never forget that. I was over here like, let me go to school for this. Let me try to get this so I can get the bag up over here. But it was completely way over there somewhere out of alignment of what my spirit came here to do. And I could not figure out why it was that it was such a struggle in that direction. I was like, okay, what is wrong with what it is that I'm trying to do? And so there was rejection at every turn and every corner as I'm trying to pursue this thing that's just completely out of alignment. My ancestors kept telling me, they like, no, that's not it. Like you cold as hell right now. You need to get back over here where it's warm. And I still was trying to push and try to do it my way, going against spiritual counsel and sound advice. And I say, thank God for the universe for keeping me on the path and keeping me protected because my ancestors was like, nope, that's not for you. Nope, you got it wrong again, and I just continued to push on until I finally figured out, you know what, I'm going to pull back and I'm going to let Great Spirit, this source, guide me in the direction of what the will is for me. Okay. And once I started doing that, I started getting pushed back over to where I belong, and all sorts of things started to happen. Okay. And a lot of times, what I was going after was for strictly material gratification. Okay. It wasn't about spiritual richness. And so I was off track because I came here as a very spiritual individual, and the life that I've led has been in alignment with that. So that's a big part of my purpose is, healing and spiritual pursuits. And so if I'm chasing the bag and the bag only, like we already know, there's nothing wrong with prosperity, abundance, and manifestation mindset. But if that's the sole purpose of it, it turns into something else. So I had to get back in alignment with who I am, once again, being true to myself in order to recognize that a lot of times that rejection was protecting me, okay, and allowing me the space to still come back around to where I was supposed to be, okay. So that one was a fire lesson as well. And number 10, I like this one a lot too. Never give up on your dreams. I love this because, like I said, I started manifesting long-term goals. These are things that are like 5, 10 years in the making. And when you go that long and the journey is so windy and so twisty, it's real easy to say, well, maybe I'm on the wrong path, like maybe I'm not moving in alignment with what God would have me to be doing. And somehow, like I said, there's winds and twists and turns, but I stayed connected to my spiritual counsel and ended up where I needed to be. And a lot of times I would think to myself, gosh, I'm older now. You know what I'm saying? I'm older than I was when I first started this journey. Duh, if I'm blessed to be able to live that long, right? And I felt like I was a little behind my peers, because I hadn't accomplished and acquired some of the physical things that they had. I've had an amazing life in its own right up until this point with all the trauma. However, I'm still comparing myself to other people, but there's things that are coming into fruition now that are like 5, 10 year goals, and I can see them, taste them, smell them, feel them. It's not just an idea of I'm almost there, just stay on the road. It is happening. And so I'm like, wow. And I've heard somebody say that before. Never give up on your dreams, and you're never too old. People who succeed in life, they will let you know that they had many failures along the way. And I don't think that I had necessarily failures along the way as much as I had lessons and things that pushed me to grow and to transform. So it's never, ever give up on your dreams because it's never too late. As long as you stay steadfast, as long as you keep that intention, that focus, you can accomplish and manifest long-term goals. You just can't give up on yourself, okay? The life is a journey and it's full of lessons. And so that is what I gathered from my 2023. So it was definitely very transformational for me, but I'm so grateful for it because like I said, here I am at 24, actively into doing the things that I love to do, experiencing the manifestations from like 5 years ago, 7 years ago, and continuing to move forward in that, experiencing relationships on a whole nother level, having relationships with my daughters. And my oldest daughter had a baby, so I am a yay yay now, and I am absolutely in love with this baby. Okay, this baby is everything, and I just cannot wait to see who he becomes because I just feel so connected to his spirit. And that is a blessing. So to be at this second half of my life, and really just loving my life today, with everything that I've been through, and to be able to come out on the other side of that, being like, yeah, manifesting stuff, none of it was in vain. That's also a beautiful part of it as well. And being able to help other people, other women with my story, how you could take that trauma and that pain and turn it into empowerment. You know what I'm saying? So that you can end up being uniquely qualified to tell your story and help somebody who may be going through something right now who thinks that this is just unbearable for them. But I truly believe that people who go through a lot of stuff, they actually have a special purpose to be able to help people, and being somebody who's empathic, being somebody who is a facilitator of healing. I absolutely absolutely know that each and every part of my journey was necessary. So I'm excited about 24. Okay. I am excited about 24, even though 24 is going to be off the chain. And we can already see that because right now it's like halfway through January and it's all kinds of crazy stuff being exposed, and a lot of these unspiritual shit in the way that we've been living is just like now being like, hello, I don't know why we weren't paying attention to this sooner. So I am definitely sipping my tea, making sure that I keep my spirit body and my physical body in tip top shape so that I can be able to fortify through spirit whatever needs to be battled. Okay, but I know one thing for sure: I'm not experiencing spiritual attacks the way that I used to. I'm definitely much closer to my ancestors and spirit guides, but I don't have to call on them all the time because I'm utilizing my own oracle and my own intuition, which is much stronger now. Like I spoke of earlier, is something that I'm doing now is I'm on my juicing journey. I'm really excited about that. So we talked about a lot of spirituality for the first half of this podcast. Now we're going to tap into the holistic side of things, and we're going to talk about the wellness side of things, as well as actual practical tips and ways that you can fortify your energy body. Because as an energy healer, that's also extremely near and dear to my heart and my spirit. So we're going to be talking about a lot of different ways that you can restore the energy in your energy body. And that in itself creates a lot of the healing changes that are necessary for the individual. So that is it for this podcast. I hope everybody enjoyed what I had to say. If you want to see the full blog, like I said, that link is going to be down in the description. And be sure to make sure you leave your comments about what you heard today, as well as what you read. Follow me on the blog because I got a lot of really good behind the scenes internal insights about what's going on with me and the journey. So that is it, guys. Until the next episode. Peace.